Adulthood for many, maybe, starts at 18 when you graduate from college, maybe when you finally move out of your parents' home. Whatever that timeline looks like for you, there's a good chance paying your own phone bill is not a deciding factor.
Queen City News Chief Business Correspondent Taylor Young is with us now. And Taylor, a growing number of people over the age of 30, we should note, say that they are still on their parents' cell phone plan.
So I gotta be honest with you guys.
No,
There's a reason
don't tell me.
why I thought this would be a good topic that we should discuss today. And repeat after me first. We listen, we do not judge.
We listen, we do not judge.
We don't pay for our kids' phone bills. Is that what you said?
No.
Okay.
So earlier this week, I got a dreaded text from my mother. I was sitting in the newsroom. Mrs. Young said, "Taylor, I think it's time for you to get your own phone plan. And before you judge and say you are a grown adult, you work a big girl job." I did my research.
Married.
I did my research on this topic, and it turns out a lot of you sitting at home are still flying under the radar on your parents' plans. Again, we listen, we do not judge. According to a recent poll by Whistle Out, 1 in 5 American adults remain on their parents' phone plans. An even bigger chunk, 1 in 3, say their parents are even still paying for part or all of their plans. So let's break it down by generation because some are more guilty of doing this than others. Let's start with Gen Z since they're the youngest on the list. It's estimated 43% of 18 to 27-year-olds are still on their parents' plan. 34% of millennials, that was me as of Tuesday, and 12% of Gen X, so people between the ages of 44 and 59. So that is a large chunk of American adults that are still on their parents' phone plan.
We listen, we don't judge, Jason. I see your mouth open. Can't judge it. Okay, out of all the bills we pay and we take on ourselves, right? We pay our electric bill and things like that. Why is it that this one tends to be left behind on our parents?
So I think there's a couple of contributing factors going on at once. So for one, I think that, when people first got on their parents' plan, this was the very first time they ever got a cell phone, right? So they may be grandfathered into better plans. I mean, better data, maybe it's cheaper, and they don't want to kind of lose those perks. Two, I think that family plans can be a lot cheaper because you have more people on them. So if you break it down cost per person, it does end up saving you money. But I think that, baby boomers never really kind of dealt with anything like this before. I mean, think about it. When they were younger, growing up in their teens, they didn't have phone bills. So there's no precedent for this. We hear a lot from our folks that they, at 6 years old, I was walking 5 miles to school.
Uphill,
in a blizzard,
snowstorm.
But none of them can say, at 10 years old, my parents kicked me off their phone plan. So there's really no precedent here for them.
That's true. So but for the people who have never paid a phone bill before, before I got married, I was on my parents' phone plan, and I always said, hey, look, I'm saving them money, right?
Yeah.
What kind of monthly bills and charges are we looking at here for people who are like, today's the day I'm going to hop off the parents' phone plan?
Yeah, I hope I'm not kind of making people do that by doing this story. But yes, the phone bills, they've gone up over the last couple of years. Between $150 and $160 is the average monthly phone bill. 10 years ago, it was about $110. But single plans are by far the cheapest. They cost anywhere between $70 and $100. Family plans can get as high as $200 a month. But again, if you break it down per person, it could end up being a lot cheaper. But these are still hefty bills that people are paying every month.
All right, Jason.
We need another hour. I got 75 questions.
Things to say.
Oh, man. Yeah, is there data backing up that we're seeing more parents kick their kids off bills?
So there is no research right now that's pointing to kind of any shift in terms of this. But if I were to
You can start at my house, by the way. Go ahead.
But I talk a lot about money up here. So if I had to kind of guess of where things could be going, as we see this generation, the baby boomers kind of enter retirement. They're on a fixed income. They've been dealing with inflation. They might be looking at their bills a lot closer. So this would theoretically be maybe one of the first bills that they look to tighten or kind of cut off, and we might be seeing more kind of baby boomers looking at their kids like Mrs. Young did this week and say, it's time for you to get your own plan.
Taylor, it's time to fly, girl. It's time to fly on your own cell phone plan.
If it's cheaper, are you against that, though? If it's cheaper for them to pay their parents?
Here's the deal. Number one, it teaches completely like cutting the core responsibility. If you don't want to jack up the plan and kick them off the plan, they should cover 100% of
their cost.
Let's say $92 is their portion of your bill. If it's way way more expensive to start over.
That's a solution.
Okay, they can stay under your plan, but
Send them the
you're
money.
paying you're paying your part. Or hand me that bad box.
I'm a pitcher. Yeah.
I mean, it's not that hard.
Bad box.
Hand me the
Bad
keys,
box.
hand me the bad box, and you pay for those things.
That's what Andy has her child call the cell phone
We
as a
call
bad box.
for my
That's what I heard,
9-month-old.
yeah.
We call this the bad box because they're, she's very interested. Of course, it's a screen, it lights up, and then my husband's work phone is the extra bad box because that's where all the messages
Well,
from work go.
How old is she?
Sorry, she's 9 months old.
Tell her to start paying.
Get off the plan, Maddie.
Right now.
You got to get a job, girlfriend.
Phone plan or
We will
Huggies.
check
You got to
back
pick one.
in a year from now, and we will see if there's any shift.
Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a
But
touchy
we,
subject.
we still listen and don't judge.
Yep. So many parents
Remember
out there
that.
immediately calling their daughters and sons saying, "Hey, I think it's time that you start paying up."
Taylor said you have to start paying your own phone bill.
Taylor
There
did,
you
not
go.
us.
We are still teenage 32-year-olds, so.
All right, Taylor, thank you so much,
Oh,
giving
wow.
us a lot to talk about.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.